Hey everyone, and hail to the fellowship. We thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your nerdy normal reviewer, the Alvin Barber, and joining me is the lore loyalist himself, TC, the Token Cripple.
Hello, hello.
And we're those guys. Today, TC, we are talking Pennyworth episode number 6. Was that episode not off the rails, sir?
That got weird. It got very weird.
Understatement, my friend. Understatement. Right off the bat, we got a witch. We got a witch.
Um, I think I said this in a previous video, but I'm sorry. A Batman prequel should not have anything supernatural in it.
It shouldn't.
Especially not in season 1.
Yeah. Let's build our way to that particular element. Let's not throw that in episode 6. Yeah, this episode was pretty fucking crazy. It was pretty fucking weird. It was pretty fucking weird. So yeah, we open with Lord Hardwood. He's starting to remember everything, who tortured him. He wants payback. He, comes out and says, I want to kill the prime minister, essentially. He wants to go back to London, and he wants Sykes and her sister to join him.
Was it just me, or was that a little abrupt? He literally just remembers his name, and then he's immediately like, I'm going to go kill this guy.
Yeah. It was kind of sudden. It was kind of sudden. But I'm sure they did that so we can push the story along. I'm sure there's more going on with him.
I hope so, but still, it just seems strange to go completely from 0 to 60 in no time at all.
No time. It's like you just started walking again, and now he's like, it's time for murder.
Trust me, I know how hard that is.
Oh, TC. The next, I think the scene after that is that when Thomas Wayne is confronted, like his sister shows up. Is that the?
No, his sister shows up after he meets with the CIA dude.
Oh, right. He meets with CIA dude. CIA dude's like, we need you to
either negotiate or plug this bitch.
Yep.
Essentially,
yeah, essentially, yeah. We need you to negotiate between these two parties, or you plug the Raven Society's leader, and you call it a day. And Thomas is like, he's like, "Are you ready to do this?" And Thomas is like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Wow, okay." He's just ready to start plugging people. All right.
I mean, I guess okay.
Yeah. We get to, I want to say Alfred and Dave Boy are at the bar.
And then Thomas Wayne walks in, yeah.
I forgot. Go ahead.
He also low-key accuses Alfred of being the guy behind the mask who killed, what's his name? Raven Society Leaderman. Not Raven, no-name Leaderman.
No name Leaderman. Yeah, it really came off like they were having like a pissing match toward the end of their conversation, though. Essentially agreeing to stay at each other's way. But
yeah, it was a little weird.
It was a little.
This whole episode was a little weird, so.
Yeah. Then that's when we get to the scene where Thomas is confronted by his sister, who was like, she's fucking lit. Like she is probably high and drunk. And she's like, I need money. He's like, I'm not going to give you money. You're just going to use it for drugs, Pat. And she's like, whatever, Tommy.
Did they ever establish that Thomas had a, like, in the comics, does he have a sister? Because I know Martha has Jacob.
Hmm.
as a sibling. That's why Kate is Bruce's cousin. But I didn't know Thomas had a sister, like in the comics.
Yeah, I don't
Does
think
he?
I was too. I don't think I was too familiar with that myself. I remember
I,
when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, he has a sister, Thomas Wayne."
I do remember vaguely they mentioned her in the first episode. I just kind of
Yeah,
forgot.
that's what I was referring to. Um, I was trying to see does I don't think it does reference Thomas Wayne having a sister in the comics. I think it's just like you referenced Kate Kane. I think just on her side of the family. So this might have been a character they created to fit the story.
Must be.
Yeah. So he has to take look after her, but at the same time he can't because he's got a job. So he ends up going to Martha and asking her to watch his sister for a few hours until he is done doing what he has to do. Martha's hesitant, but ends up saying, yeah, she'll do it.
Can I just ask, wouldn't Thomas Wayne be a little high profile to be working with the CIA?
Especially the way Patricia talks him up as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I it
go
works
ahead.
to a degree, but I feel like he's way too public of a figure to discreetly give info to the CIA or to be an operative, especially if they want him to plug somebody.
Hmm. I mean, she even said billionaire. I don't know if she said billionaire socialite, but she was just like billionaire Thomas Wayne. So clearly, he's well known. He's
Yeah,
definitely well known.
but if
The way she
anything, I would think he would be funding them,
not working
not not,
directly.
not being an operative.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he built the Batcave.
Yeah, it's true. Who the fuck knows in this universe? Who knows? Yeah. So he leaves her with Martha. She somehow gets Martha to go to some party. Well, she sees some parties like "I Want You." It's like some pamphlet with like the devil on it.
Yeah, with because the guy worships the devil.
The guy worships the yeah, it's a Satanist. He's like, "I want you." So she's like, "Oh, we got to go to this party." It cuts to Thomas Wayne. He's with the no name chick, and they're all in cars, and they're meeting with the Raven Society lady. And I believe the truce was formed, right? Like they actually agreed to terms. If I if I remember correctly, I do believe they agreed to terms. And no name lady asked Raven Society lady for a hug, and she was like, "Oh, if you must."
Yeah, that was really weird.
um,
Why are they hugging?
I I have no idea why they're hugging.
I, I, I mean, I get that they're trying to get him to agree to terms, but still, that interaction was really weird. I was expecting there to be a sting in the tail.
Yeah, the interaction was very weird. It was very weird. Um, from there, oh, Alfred goes and talks to John Ripper because
Yep.
I was just saying because he's like, "Oh, you know who killed my fiance?" And he's like, "Go see such and such." So he goes to, I think it's a mental institution, right?
Yeah,
Or some type of mental hospital.
something like that.
And he encounters this lady who's like behind this glass wall. And he's like, "Oh, I heard you can help." And she's like, "I can't." I think she's blind. I think
Yeah, I
she's
think that's the. Can I just ask? Later on, I know I'm skipping ahead, but later on, she says, "Well, the left hand of a murderer and a rose. That's a really like hard group of things to get." But she goes under the full moon, get a left hand of a murderer, da, 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 and that just literally falls in Alfred's lap.
it
So
does.
So was the woman a psychic? Because if she's a psychic, she should have known that wasn't that like it was going to happen anyway. Uh, but she doesn't use it for anything except for cat food. So what the hell? Um, and then she's like, "Well, it's hard to get." But I'm like, "You knew he was going to get it anyway." So, obviously, like, is that really a fair test?
I
Is it a test at all?
yeah, you know, I didn't really think about it like that. Yeah, I mean, you have a point. You have
I
a point.
plus again, don't put magic in a Batman prequel.
Yeah, she's like, I need a left hand of a murderer and a red rose. And initially, I thought these were things that he was going to have to just get himself. Like
Yeah,
I had, like I had no idea these things were just gonna fall on in his lap, essentially.
yeah. That's why I'm like, so you knew that was going to happen, but you don't need it for any spells. Also, there's a difference between a witch and a precog. They aren't the same thing.
Right. No, it's fine. It's that you jumped like that because I also was thinking about that too. So yeah, these are the requirements so he can find out who killed Esme. He's thinking he like at first he doesn't believe her, and then she did reference something like who's the other woman. It's kind of an
Yeah,
innocuous kind of question. I mean, there could always be another woman, right? Like,
yeah. That in and of itself
as-
wasn't much. Plus, it could be Sandra or it could be Martha at this point. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure it's meant to be Martha, but
poor Sandra. She's literally just got fucked over. Like that's it. Like she was, he doesn't even acknowledge her in this episode.
yeah, that's not
It's
cool,
kind of
Alfred. Not
yeah, it's
cool.
kind of fucked up. Um yeah, so he's like, I'm not gonna. He's like mulling it over about this whole situation. Then finally, he gets to a point where he's like, he's going back to work. Okay. So there was that one scene where he's with his parents, and his dad actually showed him some affection.
But it
Um,
also looked like Alfred was about to stab him too.
did it? I don't know. It kind of looked like Alfred was kind of thrown or taken aback by the whole thing, like
Maybe, yeah. That
because his dad just didn't
his
do.
father is trying. It seems like he's trying to be less of a dick.
He
So
does. He does. He is earnestly looking like he's trying to be like an actual good dad instead of a toxic one. Although
but
I love when he's toxic. I think it's hilarious.
one question I do have: what married couple does the wife refer to the husband as Mister P?
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't, I don't know.
like, I mean, sometimes parents will say, "What do you think, Dad?" Like referring to parent, like father of the child. But I've never heard of them be like, "What's your thoughts, Mister Initial?" Like,
Miss Yeah, Mr. Pay. Yeah, I don't know. She's trying to be endearing. I don't know. I don't know why she even calls him that, but
is that a culture thing? You think?
could be. Could be.
Maybe. I don't
Could
know.
be.
I'm very American, so I don't
um,
know.
well, maybe somebody is listening to this podcast here. Let us know in the comments section. Is that type of nickname, or is that kind of like an endearing thing, or is it weird? I don't know. Is it a cultural thing? You guys let us know. You guys let us know because we are very American, but we are open to other cultures too. So
Yeah,
we just want to learn. We just want to
please
learn.
brick pick us, please.
Um, yeah. So that scene. So then we got Alfred. He's working. Oh no. I'm sorry. So we get to the party where Martha and Patricia Wayne are uh, drinking and having a good time, or at least Patricia is.
What
Um,
was Martha drugged, or was there magic involved there?
I
I'm very confused.
I don't know. That's the thing. Like I thought so initially. I was like, oh, maybe there's magic, but then now I'm thinking maybe she was drugged. But then I don't know. I don't know. It's that's a good one. I don't know. It gets to a point where she wants to leave, but she ends up going into like a circle, right? Like it just she can't leave.
Yeah, she's in like some sort of repeating. That's the thing. Like I was confused. Like, is she disoriented from drugs, or is there magic involved? Like, what's going on? And I mean, I hope they explain it better. But
Yeah, I hope they explain it better as well. I had a hard time trying to discern which is which. Um and
and
then
then in the third loop, Patricia's just standing in the line with the others in the cult.
yeah, it's like this cult, and then she walks up to this goat headed man with like what I think it's 8 or 6 fucking eyeballs. Like yeah,
Maybe
it was
maybe they'll
very
bring in Tom Ellis. Who knows?
perhaps
That would actually
perhaps
be cool. I would like that.
I guess we'll have to see. Um, so now we get to the point where Alfred's at his old job. He's working, and then Thomas Wayne comes in, and he's like, "Oh, have you seen Martha or my sister Patricia?" And Alfred's like, "No." He's like, "They've been missing for 2 days now." I'm like, "Holy shit! What the hell was going on at this fucking cult party?"
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And then Alfred's like, I don't know, but I mean, he was very confrontational. He does realize that his sister is missing, right? Like,
yeah,
you could be a little bit more compassionate, man. Like,
I, I I know you just lost someone. Like at least try to empathize in some capacity. I mean, you would think. But while they're getting into it, and Thomas ends up exiting conveniently, there's this guy in the corner of the bar, and he's making a ruckus and being loud and bring attention to himself. And I think they call him Hatchet Jack or Hatch something to the he's a dangerous guy. And Alfred confronts him, and then he's like, "Well, let's go. Well, let's go outside to the alley, or they go out there. They're fighting. Conveniently, Alfred picks up this guy's machete and then chops the left hand off
with one strike right
but
through. Like,
one strike, one and done. The guy's like, "Oh my god!" and he's hysterical, gets up and leaves.
can I just the kind of shit they get away with in this show without like no one asks any questions. He goes to the sanitarium with the goddamn hand, the severed hand, and no one says anything. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like the kind of shit he's pulled. Like, there's no Alfred doesn't have connections at this point. There's nothing keeping him from getting arrested.
oh no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
And
know.
he's essentially said "f you" to everyone with connections who could get him out of it. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it as well. I don't understand it as well. So Alfred's on the ground reflecting on what the hell just happened. He looks up, notices there's a full moon, looks down and notices that it's the left hand of a murderer and conveniently a red rose just sitting there next to one another.
Would
Just,
Alfred's opening play be to chop somebody's hand off, though? Because he seems surprised when it all lines up.
I feel
So
like
that wasn't his plan.
it wasn't his intention. No, it wasn't his intention.
So it was just exceedingly convenient then.
It was exceedingly convenient. Yeah, it's just so many contrivances in this show. So
Which is kind of weird because usually this show has proven itself to be better up to this point at avoiding those.
Right.
For the most part, I mean, there is a couple because he raised Batman, but
for the most part,
they've done a good job for the most part of avoiding such obvious contrivance.
Correct. Correct. Uh, so then Alfred's like, "Oh my gosh, how did she even know this would take place?" So then he's like, "Fuck it." He gets the items, takes it to the lady. And then she proceeded to say what you said earlier. I just got it just because it's incredibly hard to come by, and my cat likes to gnaw on it. It's like what? Like what? Like you're not gonna use these items at all? Okay, all right. Um, so she has Alfred sit at the table with her. They have some tea. He grabs her hand. He ends up going into like a trance or falls. She says he falls asleep. He ends up going into this dreamlike state, and he's starting to notice and go through, people that could possibly hate his guts. And he comes across this guy. They call him Captain, and it's so odd. Like this guy Captain, like he's in every scene in his dream, and he doesn't say anything. He just fucking stands there
He just
staring
looked
at
at him.
yeah, he's just staring at him with this like intense look. And I think there were a couple of times that Alfred made fun of him, but I don't think it was worth murdering Alfred's fiance. But again, I don't know how many times Alfred made fun of this guy. I mean, it could have been way more than what we saw. But this guy was like really pissed. So Alfred puts it together that it was the guy Captain. He goes with Baza and Dave Boy to look this guy up. They get to this guy's flat, and there's a note attached to it, just pretty much saying,
Better luck
"Oh,
next time."
better luck
Essentially.
next time. I'm glad you found out the truth. I'm out of here." Essentially,
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't find that very satisfying. I wish there had been more focus on like almost more Arrowverse style flashbacks.
correct. Yeah,
Because the flashbacks seem kind of almost irrelevant, and I don't even remember the captain playing much of a role in those flashbacks. So
yeah. I don't either. Like I said, there was maybe like one or two scenes where Alfred like was making fun of him, but I feel like you said, it should be like Arrow's flashbacks and more like centered and actually had like a purpose and reasoning to everything what's going on. It lasted longer than 5 seconds. So I feel like these flashbacks were not even they didn't last long at all. It was just kind of like one after another. It's like, oh, this is the guy, this is who he is, this is what Alfred did, and we're moving on. And it's like, yeah, we need to really, like, for me to be able to understand or to find some justice or some warrant him killing Esme, like, I need to really see how Alfred's behavior had an impact on this guy's life.
like Alfred needs to really have fucked him over, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, and we need to be a witness to that. If not, we're just like, okay, it's like you just said, it's not going to be satisfying. It's not going to be satisfying. Oh, are we up to the final scene where it cuts to like this barren?
Yeah, that's really weird. Like no leaves on the trees, and Martha is completely naked, just randomly there, just looking around, trying to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, that was odd. I'm like, okay, so I really hope she wasn't draped. Like that's.
I don't think
Yeah,
that they would go that far.
I hope not. I
Um,
hope not.
I don't think they would do that. It's still really freaking weird that you would just kind of dump her literally in the middle of freaking nowhere, but leave her alive.
Yeah, without any clothing or anything, any of her possessions.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
freaking weird, man. This episode was just off the rails, crazy weird.
It's just weird. It was so weird. That's the only way I can explain it. I'm like, wow. What would you rate this episode?
Probably a 3. Just
Yeah, I was
because
gonna.
there was so much weird, and I don't know, maybe something we'll hear later will make it better in retrospect, but I think it was probably the weakest episode so far.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I gave it a 4. Definitely one of the weaker episodes thus far. But like I said, hopefully they give us more information um, in the upcoming episodes. So, but all right, we thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you guys think. Especially if you're watching the episode or if you've seen the episode, just share with us your thoughts. Also, share this video out there, hit that bell for notifications, and you guys take care.
Yeah, let us know if we're blind like Johnny.
You're blind, Johnny. Blind.